think we've got everyone in from the waiting room now. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. We are talking about AI 2.0, how AI tools can help you work smarter and not harder across borders. For those of you who don't know me, I am Heather Hill. I'm the head of international philanthropy for Chapel in New York. In my role, I oversee our charity management services as well as our global family of foundations. And joining me today is Andres Hoya. He is the founder of Koali, which is an amazing company that does a lot with AI, and he's got vast experience in how these tools can be used effectively, and how they can help you. So I have some great examples of that. So I don't want to do too prolonged of an intro. So I will hand it off to Andres to let him get us started.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Heather, and thank you so much to all of you that are here in this conversation. I'm Andres. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Koalai. In Koalai, we are an AI infrastructure company that is executing several projects across employability, education, fundraising, everything like specialized into the education sector. Good afternoon for you, the ones that are like in Europe. We are based in San Francisco. And this has given us a lens, a unique lens of are the things that are in the frontier of innovation. And in each day in the Bay Area, it's a tech week in where you see a lot of new companies coming up and new tools. And in here you see how the companies especially startups, are using each of the tools to make more efficient their work or to increase revenue. So that's why I'm here. In terms of my career, I have done like more than 15 years of career in the machine learning, big data, artificial intelligence sector with education, and I have gone all the way from competitiveness analysis from education to scholarships, financial modeling creation, fundraising, employability, so on and so forth. So I'm very thankful to be here, and I'm sure that with this partnership with Chapel York, is going to be a interesting opportunity for all to grow in terms of fundraising and to, of course, use the right tools to actually make more efficient and to increase the income through fundraising and through any other project that you have right now. So it's a pleasure to have all of you here. That's excellent. Well, I mean, what are you will expect for this conversation? I will talk a little bit on AI for a couple of minutes, and then we'll have some question and answer that like what will be like guided by all and also like by Heather. So I'm happy to start. So whenever you want, Heather, I can start now if you want.
I was trying to get off mute. Yes, that would be great. And just for those of you who are joining us today, we are recording this, so you will get a recording. We'll be sending out some useful supporting documents as well for you after this. And as questions come up, please feel free to put those into the chat, and we'll have some time for Q&A at the end as well. So we will try to get to all the questions that we can. So do pop those in the chat as you think of them. And with that, I'll hand it off again.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, of course. And we're working on a white paper for this presentation and this evidence that we're going to about to share. So we'll hand it out like in a few days from now. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Heather, for this intervention. So that like with that said, let's start now. The inflow of this presentation will be as follows. We are going to be talking about how is like our fundraising data working. Is it working as hard as it could be? And which are the elements that we can improve or we can use to make it more efficient, especially in this AI world, right? Because right now, most of the professions, around 60% of the professions will have to be either reskilled or change of focus, and also the areas within companies. And education sector is not the exception of the rule. We'll have to learn how the AI tools are, which are around there, and how we can use it, and what's the international experience that have been next to us from our same industry or from different industries to use that. What you guys are going to expect to learn today are three elements. First, we are going to have a message related to the state of the art around AI plus human interaction, what is out there, how the people are using those solutions, and how them can improve our daily life. Second, I'm going to deliver actionable AI tools that you can implement immediately right now in the fundraising area, in the advancement office, plus some real case studies that you can use in your experience so that like you can improve and generate this 10x in the experience fundraising. And lastly, independent on the station where you guys are at, I will deliver a clear roadmap, step by step, for getting started or for continuing on these exercises. As I said, we are going to deliver a white paper on this with more statistical evidence. So this will be one of the great things that will happen today. Those are going to be the three messages. So first, I will start with the first message, the state of the art. And in here, I want to share to you some interesting evidence that is that the AI won't replace the fundraiser. This is one of the key messages that I'm going to deliver in this opportunity, because in base of all the international evidence that we have collected, in base of all the institutions and organizations that we have worked with, and the solution that we have seen so far that are like doing something similar or complementary to what both of our services does, we have identified that the AI is making more efficient the work for the person rather than replacing the fundraiser. That's a very powerful message, and that's an invitation for all to make a 10x in time optimizations, cost savings using artificial intelligence. Second is that these do not depend on the money that you have to pay. This is an interesting misconception around the world that like most of the AI solutions can be either requiring a big investment on engineering to develop. It can be requiring a big investment on the team to actually adapt some technology for the company. But in reality is, and the tools that I'm going to show you right now are going to show that there are different solutions that are either open source or that are very cheap, that can be implemented with less and can generate an 80% result in this type of actions. It's very important. And then third, and most importantly, there is no one size fits all solution. Each institution is different. Each organization is different. Each nonprofit is different. Each company is different, which means that for each of you guys, you will have to select and use your own structure. You'll have to do the exercise of analysis. Of course, there are some groups that you can implement that I'm going to transmit you about, but in general, you will have to do an exercise for implementing this for your organization and selecting each tool dependent on your context. Why is that? Because the alumni community is different. Some of them can be like high profile individuals. Some of them can be like average income or middle class individuals. The interest probability to donate is different by the different population, different geography region, so on and so forth. And this is why it's very important to know which strategy to develop and which tools to develop. So those are the three messages. AI won't replace the fundraising. These do not depend on the money, and there is no one size fits all solution. That's one of the concepts on the state in art in here. Now, I'm going to talk about which is the general formula for implementing technology, implementing AI in the fundraising process. And in here, you have to have three elements. The first is, of course, the university team. So this is why in one of the segments of this presentation at the end, I will deliver some structuring how to strengthen your skills and the skills of your team or the organization team or the nonprofit team um, to be implementing the solution. This is the term A of this equation. That's times the term B, that is a stack of AI solutions. And in here, the AI solution, I will mention to you, and I will give you some examples in base of the international evidence in a couple of slides. But in here, the AI solutions are a stack that this team chooses that improve the activities for the team. And in here, there are different solutions such as Koala's solution that can be a career AI copilot, or that can be an educator copilot, or a fundraising strategy copilot, or an alumni ecosystem platform, depending on the products that we have. But there are also other products. There is Gravity for alumni community. There is like for LLM communication, all those tools that you would know, Anthropic, Gemini, DeepSeek, so on and so forth. There are other for marketing that we will see how to develop like this equation for mass mailing, for WhatsApp messages, for text messages, so on and so forth. There is your stack, so team times the stack of the AI tools that you will choose. And then third, there is the methodology. And the methodology is how your team will use these artificial intelligence solutions to trigger donors. This is in general the formula. So those are three elements formula, and you can work on each of those three terms. You will have to have a pipeline of university team training, a pipeline and a stack of AI solutions that you will have to implement, and also methodology that you want to follow, choosing the right channel, choosing the right solutions and the right amount of time of iteration to increase the donors. So, well, first slide, misconceptions and state of the art. Second slide, how the formula works for fundraising. And then in base of our experience, third is our example of the different uses that the AI has in fundraising in base of international experience. So these four are the main cases in how the people are using different tools in there. And in our white paper, we will incorporate, we have incorporated several names of solutions that are different and in each of those elements. The first area I wanted to talk to you about is that the AI is transforming our actions from reactive, depending on a description of population, depending on some models of probability of donning, to predictive modeling, to scaling that amount of touches, increasing the personalization of those touches so that you can actually trigger better and predict more the fundraising probability for the person. This is one of the models. Several of the institutions or the organizations, they developed their own modelings. We in Quali structure models for some organizations in base of the population and the key variables that they have for fundraising and the key actions that they have. And that's one of the things in where AI is used in there. Second, there is a pattern recognition. So with AI, you can scale the amount of power of analysis from different sources. You can scale the volume of information analysis from from an independent database, so that you can detect better patterns in base of your either previous experience, in base of the public information that is available, in base of like the stack of information that have like other solutions, and you can use that as a comparable to increase the recognition of patterns, and that allow us to increase the reachability for donors. And then third, one of the most important uses that comes from also different sectors is the personalization. Several of the pains of the CRMs for either fundraising, for sales, for in all the sectors, nonprofit, education, in the companies itself, social enterprises, um, has the weakness that in this area or in business that are B2B or that are like related to government or B2G require a level of personalization that requires that your team takes a lot of time sending messages, sending what to send, not burning the connection, so on and so forth. So there are tools that allow you currently to detect the right channel, either if it is a text message, either if it is phone call, if it is email, or either if it is like other channel of communication to understand the context of the conversation that you have been having with the person before and to be able to send the right touches at the right time, and also to improve the information that the member of the team that will be fundraising, like meeting to a person in the next following days, will have. That increases the amount of information, that increases the time efficiency of the team, that reduces the time that the people that have to spend writing well the message so that the connection won't be burned, and that of course increases as a result the amount of capital being donated. And then lastly, there is other use that is for collect information, so that you can have several tools to extract information about people, to extract the public information, of course, about companies, and to make summaries that will be used in the conversations. In our case, we have some agents that extract information about the job opportunities that are in different companies, that extract information about the public information from some roles within certain sectors. But there are also other solutions. There is Evertrue, for example, which is in this slide. There is Gravity as well in alumni ecosystem, and there are many others that are in relation to fundraising that will be used in here. And I want to show you now that after this conversation will be like delivering um uh, a tool. Let me see if I can show it to you guys best for that has a comparison for each of the areas. So enhanced CRM systems, specialized CRM alternatives, community alumni management with different solutions that you guys have here. Also content creation automation for fundraising. I won't be in much detail about all of those, so that like this conversation won't be as technical, but also like emailing marketing with enterprise email, predictive analytics, so on and so forth, that we have structured in the past, in base of our experience, so social media management, grant writing and research, so on and so forth, pre-screening and prospect research. Yeah, even chatbot, career coaching, event management tool, so on and so forth. So this is important, so that like you can have like a Pareto of solutions that will help you guys out to select the right tool, having in mind that each of the tool selection is dependent on the reality of the university, of the institution, of the nonprofit or the organization and their population. It's required an analysis for that, so that you can select and choose the right tool according also to its cost. These are the four main uses, but like I also wanted to have an opportunity to show you a little bit of what, like within all those main uses that are the ones that are here, what we do. So in Koali, we have used AI to not only make efficient the communication with the person, to not only multiply by 10 the efficiency between of the university team, but we have the logic of providing value using artificial intelligence to, in our case, the either alumni community or the general community ecosystem from either the nonprofit, either the international organization or the institution, educational institution, and or the bank, for example. And we have this growth spiral in where I'm showing you guys here an example within like the education sector. We provide AI solutions that deliver value to the community. For example, we have an agent that is a career orientator that delivers advisement on how the career path should be. Also, we have an agent that does exactly this, collect information from different sources and deliver educational and skill mapping from different organizations and job discoveries. And also we have some agents that extract and deliver a pattern recognition that in this case is Kami, and it detects the pattern of recognition of the recruitment process and the tracking of them. And lastly, we have some predictive model that transform like from reactive to predictive that is transmitting human market interactions. In our case, we have built those agents from scratch. The technology that we have built is ours. We, of course, also do, upon requirements, some integrations with all the open source solutions that are available in the market. And for some of our clients, we have done integrations with either Anthropic, OpenAI, Gemini, so on and so forth to enrich this. This is just one of the cases. But this is a solution in where the AI is used to transmit first value to the community. And then after transmitting value, there is an intention of increase in either donors in fundraising process or also the right data, the right collection of data to actually deliver the fundraising opportunities with more information, and also detecting the probability for the donor's probability or the client's probability in base of this data. We have had like some interesting results. There is one cooperative and one nonprofit, for example, that we have multiplied by 5 the amount of resources that were collected in the previous campaign compared to the one that has been done with those agents. And this is just with the agents that are providing the use to the community. This is not even taking into account all the agents that can be used for the team, that can be used for actually extracting information and detecting other patterns, and those can be done. But it's not only with our solution. There are different tools in each of these areas, and the value that we want to transmit here is that for you today, you take the areas in where you can use AI here, and also like some alternatives of solutions that you can use, that some can be free, some can be paid, and it depends on the amount of budget that you guys have, but you can start with zero. You can start with zero to generate a big impact in there. Good. So we have seen the context, we have seen the formula, we have seen the uses, we have seen what we do so far. Now let's see some common mistakes, because in base of the international experience and what we see here in San Francisco, and in base of like the conversations with several of the startups that works with companies, we have detected that there are 4 main areas in where the teams, if they can go back in time, they would love to do it differently. And the first is not having a clear strategy. So remember that I started by this formula of these 3 elements: methodology, team, and solution. If you don't have the right mixture between the 3 of them, this is an equation, and they have to work together. So there can be a mistake in here. So a strategy needs to be clear. Second common mistakes is that they like poor data quality. So in our experience working with institutions and working with nonprofits and companies, we have identified that in reality, the data that is being collected by each of the organizations sometimes has less like poor quality. If you feed some tools with that data, you will end up like burning the connection or doing touch points more than the one that you expected, or sending miscommunications, which will lead toward like non-intended results. This is why like one of our solutions of the careers pillar in the ladies case aims to have more information of the people. That's very, very important. With ERD solution, which any other, is very important to have high like data quality. The third one is to miscalculate the technical complexity. So what I mean in here by technical complexity is counterintuitive. Sometimes we get lost, and the organizations get lost, and their engineering team creating some very complex solution. And the reality is that we can start with simple steps. So don't get lost and waste time uh, creating like a huge technical complexity model that incorporates a lot of agents that have like everything perfect. Um, Start by little, because like no matter how much time you get to think about the prospect, the project, you will have the implementation in base of that, like you will learn. So that it's better to start fast and not get lost in relation to the technical complexity. And then the fourth most important mistake is skip oversight. If you let the AI work without oversight, it can generate some unintended results. It can like also like burn your database. It can go for sites that you don't want to. So you need to maintain a team from your entity, and also like some advisory team that is thinking about this, and to be able to be monitoring this constantly. So those are the most common mistakes. Of course, I think that like maybe we can talk about this a little more later in this conversation, but those are the most common mistakes. There are others that we can certainly talk about, as like making like choosing the wrong tool, also to not train properly the team, not choosing the right methodology, so on and so forth. But like those are the four more important. So we detected the context, we deliver a methodology, we show the different use of the platforms that there are here. Also, we show how Quali will it be one of two success cases of Quali and some of the mistakes. And the third element of this conversation for us was to transmit a roadmap, right? So we will have like more detail on the roadmap in our white paper, but I recommend these four elements. So first, doing a data audit so that you can have like a clear, more or less, a conception of what you are inputting in on the models and the tools that you are giving. Second, this needs to be tested fast. So to execute a pilot program with a decent amount of information, it can be as small as 30 observations, as small as 50 observations, and start and learn with the solutions in that area, and then scaling gradually and looking for optimizations. Despite this is like showing as a line, it's more like a cycle that we have like to repeat and repeat, and have to interact a lot with actually all the stakeholders in the solution, so that you can get some of the perspective of them, and you can modify the solutions that you are using in base of what they have to say. Of course, as I say, these have like three different elements: methodology, team, and AI stack. So that like you have to have your team ready, and it's very important. Like we have seen this in the past, when the computer came up, like everybody had to be trained on computer. Like when any programs came out, when Excel came out, everybody like had to be trained in Excel. Like when Power BI came up, like everybody had to be trained in Power BI, which means that like your teams, this is not the exception. So you will have to be like a training your current team in AI tools, or either or, they have to be both. Hire some new elements or enrich this team with this expertise. But it's a combination of two, training and hiring. It's important to select the right partners and also select an import like a concrete KPIs that you can get that data enrichment, increasing donors, increasing engagement, start measuring it, so on and so forth. And also like yes, and ending up like this start presentation by telling that like we will be delivering like a short white paper with this information. We also have like a international community that is important, is possible to be part of, and also it would be great to have like a conversation of like a 30 minutes or so with any of you that you wish to book, but we will like talk about that later. So first, before going to question and answers, I wanted to show you in terms of like these a couple of minutes that we have transmitted. So we transmitted on a state of the art that is independent on the fundraiser. It complements the fundraiser, no money attached, and then you have like to select the right tool. Second, we transmitted some actionable tools that you can implement immediately. We transmitted the methodology, AI plus team plus the methodology, and I have transmitted the four main uses to that have been used for nonprofits or companies or institutions for this. And lastly, we have transmitted a roadmap with a methodology for getting started and to improve those three elements of the method of the AI methodology, that is the method, the AI stack, and the people. Um, I hope so. Those are the three messages that I wanted to share today. Of course, this ends up like the first part of our conversation that was kind of like the transmission of the conversation, and then I wanted to open the mic for some question and answers that you guys have, and of course transmitting transparently that I will try to answer as concrete as I might, and if I don't have like the answer for that, I will try to make it clearly as well, right? Because we don't know all. So yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Andres. This is fantastic information. And I actually have a couple questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
Could you share with us a couple of examples, maybe universities that have seen growth in their alumni engagement or seen an increase in annual giving through application of AI tools? So what are
Yeah.
some success stories, I guess, for how this has been implemented? Does it
Oh,
give does it
there
give
are
people an idea of what's possible?
yes, of course, of course. No, there are there are different international examples. For example, and implementing different solutions. So for example, like University of Nebraska, like they implemented one tool that is called Evertrue, and then they increase it. What the report is that they have increased around like more than 150% in their yearly donor meetings. Like also there are like other universities that have used one solution that the name is Gravity, and then like and there is a example with one university that is called Boise State, that they say that they were able to raise more than $600,000 in revenue in donors in base of this. And there are different others in the US. We personally work a lot with institutions and organizations in Latin America.
Mhm.
We have some examples with one nonprofit that is called Cosmedas. We were able to develop like a probability for donors and buying in base of rider population. We cleaned their data, we developed the model, we transmitted the probability, which then was transmitted to their team so that they will know like exactly what to offer and how to connect. And we were able to increase by 5 times the amount of that money collected, let's say, in base of that probability. We also have worked like with other institutions. We created the community alumni technology stack for Uniandinos in Colombia. and in there they had a different model that is like a subscription based club subscription based kind of structure. There is a third university in Colombia that has like a different total population that is like a middle class, low income class. That is the CUN University. We delivered for them this cycle in base local employability, internships, education, and enriching the database so that they can increase not only the value delivered to the people, but also like the increase in fundraising with this different amount of population that is not like from high income, but like for an average like middle class population within the country. And the example follows. Like there are like different entities that we have personally we have worked with that have transmitted those results. But as I said at the beginning of this answer, I also wanted to give like some other examples so that yeah, you can know what can be done with AI. Yeah.
Great. And then, so for Chapel New York, most of the organizations we work with, I mean, well, I shouldn't say most of them, they're all globally distributed. So, and I would even say the vast majority of them are outside the US, and doing fundraising and alumni engagement across borders. So, in thinking about using AI tools for some of the cross-border work, whether that's engaging alumni, whether that's increasing annual giving, whether that's improving communications. What would your advice be? So, sorry, long way around. What would your advice be to an organization on how to use these tools effectively in an international scale? So, how to use AI to reach across borders.
So I would say that first and all, AI is not magic. It demands preparation, right? So it's important to keep in mind these three elements that I have transmitted. That is the methodology, the AI stack, and also the team itself, right? So in order to improve like an international donation, it's important personalizing in terms of the methodology, right? Like so sticking to these three methodologies, I will talk about the first element. It's important to localize and personalize with the strategy with AI. What I mean by that is that uh, AI is providing us the way to actually open a little bit our scope, but we
Mm.
need to keep like a personalization on there so that and each of our communities have a right, like let's say like buyer persona or donor persona. So we have like to localize that so that we can use AI to get a trigger and to the point, independent if it is like national, international communities. Second, it's important to choose the right channel. So
Mm.
depending on the experience that you have had is different like from one organization to the other. So despite the fact that the community is international, you will need to choose the right channel. That's different from like country to country and person to person. Um, and when talking about like institutions, when talking about institutions, it's important to deliver value to the international community. So some of the times, the teams of the institutions, they reached out to like either ask for donations or to do like a straight away an event to catalyze donations. It's important to deliver value before capturing value. So I would recommend getting into solutions that nowadays are becoming cheaper, commoditized with AI that can provide value for the community that will allow you international community in terms of like in our case, I will talk about Koali. It's employability, it's alumni community, is career job, career copilot, and all education and career coaching. Events management, but there are other solutions as well that can trigger that solution. So I would say like those three elements within having said the elements about the technology. So AI not magic, methodology, team, and AI stack, and within the AI stack, personalize it, channels, and also deliver value for capturing value.
Excellent. That's great advice. And I think you're right in thinking about the right channel and as well as thinking about the right personalization level and thinking about the cultural differences as you're working in different countries. Like you can't just copy paste what you're doing over. You've got to think about how things need to adjust and tailor. Something that we see quite often. So, really great advice. I have more questions, but I don't want to take up all the time for Q&A. So I will open it just in case anyone who's on the webinar now would like to ask questions. Oh, I see we have one from Andrew. Let's see. Is there any work being done on using AI to predict the success of funding bids? That's a great question.
Oh, great. So, so with what we have seen so far, it's we deliver a probability of donor, which I think that it can be translated that that's a prediction of the funding bids, right? Like in terms of the person. So that we develop in the case of Quali that we develop a model in base of the population of the institution or organization we with all the names anonymized, the users anonymized with some characteristics in base of the previous information, and we generate our model and the right channels to get end result of a probability of donors, which I think that can be taken as a proxy for the success of funding, the probability of of donors. That would be one thing. Uh, but in general, that I can have like a probability of how much capital will be allocated. I guess if the solution, if the question is regarding to, so that's in terms of donors, right? In the probability of the people doing donation. In terms of like the amount of capital that will be collected in general, you have like some AI plus CRMs specialized for donation that can kind of like yeah predict the success of the funding bids when you talk about like capital collected. There are some. I can include some of them like in the white paper if you want that actually allocate a probability of the amount collected in general in the funnel of the campaign. Yeah, those are the two elements: prediction of donors for individual or organization, and also a more or less probability prediction of how much capital would be allocated in general in a campaign.
Yeah, and I think oh, perfect. I was just going to say, I just wanted to make sure that was what Andrew's asking, because I know sometimes there's also questions about if you're doing a grant proposal, or if you're seeking grant funding, and it's kind of like which institutional funders are most likely to,
Mm.
would you be most likely to win a grant from? And I know I've seen that done on a manual basis and kind of looking out, funding priorities versus mission alignment and kind of have they funded similar organizations and how often. So I don't know if there's an AI tool for grant seeking yet. But I do know I personally when I was doing fundraising have used predictive modeling tools both to refine kind of donor lists and thinking about campaigns and approaches as well as kind of predicting um, using it to help with segmentation as far as predicting the most likely major donors, mid-level donors, regular donors, as well as even using it as a tool for looking at most likely like legacy donors. So I can speak from personal experience that the predictive modeling aspect is incredibly helpful and helping you manage your time and resources well. So you're putting the time and attention into the areas where you're most likely to get the best return.
Good, good, good. Yes, Heather, and then like there are some examples. I have personally not used them for grant generation right now, but like there are a couple of examples. Like I can send you out the complete list. What like one that came to my mind is something related like to like open grant or open grants or something like
Mhm.
that but it's related like to government grant funding. There is like some other that I think is called Hub Hub Grant or Grant Hub or something like that that is also like for doing like grant management. But we can certainly deliver like some pipeline of all those solutions under Angle, right? Having said that, the AI is a complement of the fundraiser, not replaceable. There is
Absolutely.
a lot of like a suite like non-structured skills that need to be done like to trigger like donation.
Yes, fully agree with that. Uh, any other questions? If you want to come off mute, you're welcome to. You can also pop those in the chat. Either way is fine. All right, not seeing any, but I have one more question for you. We were just talking a little bit about predictive modeling, so that was a question that we've already talked through. But one that I had, you were talking about collecting information and how AI can be helpful in gathering that information for you. Um, so I know one huge need that is always present, I think, in fundraising, whatever type of organization you are, is prospect research. So my inclination would be that AI tools could help make prospect research more efficient by being able to collect information at scale versus an individual having to kind of go manually to different sources. Could you say a little bit more about the information collection that AI can help with?
Of course, of course. So like certainly you have different agents that are at getting either like information from public sources or that have like integration with others. So there are some tools in there like you have one that is called Apollo, and Apollo what it does is like you can get like all the information from LinkedIn and different segmentations. You have like different complements to Apollo as well. There is like some info. You have like even like LinkedIn Sales Navigator puts like a lot of solutions over there to get some information in terms of funding scenarios. Like you got a Crunchbase in there in where like you can do and have reporting over there, a pitch book, and some others that help you out like finding the right prospect in there. So yeah, those are like some of the examples with to extract information from either donors or like some deal information. And there are other platforms that are more niche depending on which kind of like donors you want or like grants you want, so on and so forth.
Well, and I know from, again, kind of going back to my past experience and when I was working at universities, I know one of the big challenges was finding lost alumni. So like the alumni that just have moved or, changed roles or something, and it's information goes out of date and you want to stay in touch and you can't find them. So it seems like AI tools could be useful in kind of finding those lost alumni as well.
Yes, I mean we do that, right? Like we do that, like in our model of alumni community, we deliver some graphs or where are the people and where are they, which roles have been changed, and we also start by like feeding the alumni with some value so that like they can like refresh the information and have this fresh data. So that's actually one of the things that Quali can help with if interested. And but there are of course other tools that are being used for that purpose as well.
Excellent. Well, I think this has been helpful. Hopefully, our attendees would agree with that as well. Um, just as we're wrapping up, I'll just share for those who have joined us today and who don't know about Chapel New York. So, Chapel New York, we call ourselves the home of international fundraising and philanthropy, and our expertise and our sole specialty is working across borders, whether that's helping you find tax effective giving solutions for your international donors, or whether that's assisting you with your cross border fundraising. We are here as a resource. Ooh, I do see we have one more question, so I will stop talking. Do you declare, so this is a great question. So do organizations typically declare to donors that they are working with AI tools?
Yes, like so like we like in it depends, right? Like, but general advice that to declare that you are working with AI tools for them. Yes, yes.
Yes, that's something I would endorse as well. I think just for transparency's sake, it's good to just let your donors know, um, whether that's a small disclosure at the bottom of communications, something on your website, maybe in the same place where you have your data privacy policy and other things like that, just to so that they're in an easily accessible place, that if someone wanted to, do a keyword search on your website or something about AI, they could see how you're using it. And again, as you're communicating and engaging with your donors and alumni, I think just a little note, a footnote on things is, just good practice. Better to have it out there, and someone be able to ask you follow-up questions than for someone to not feel it's been disclosed and feel that it was hidden from them. So
Yes, I totally agree into that. It's important like for transparency and for explaining like also like the benefits of the donors. Like we also like do that like on the bottom of the communication, so on and so forth. And then like we have like this as the question is how like we put some of the benefits. So like with our AI, we recommend personalized initiatives. Like if we are dealing with the community alumni initiatives, events, or projects that can be good for the community. And also like of course, we always like in our solution at least we have like the updating preferences model in where like they can opt in or opt out to be like receiving like either data driven or AI driven communications at any time. So I would say like those three things are some of the examples of how we use it. But of course all the other organizations, most of them at least, and I encourage like whenever you are using your strategy for detecting the right provider, you ask for that. It's important and it is a um, transparency shown strategy.
great. Thank you. Well, with that, I will bring us to a close. If any of you have any other questions that come up after after we're off our webinar, and you think, oh, I wish I would have asked, please do reach out to us. We are here as a resource. We will be sending out the recording to everyone, along with the white paper that we mentioned, which I am sure will be a really useful tool for you. And again, please keep in touch if we can be helpful in any way, as you're thinking through how AI tools might be able to enhance your fundraising and engagement. As you're looking for solutions for cross-border work, both Koali and Chapel New York are here to partner with you and help support your success. So many thanks to all of you for joining today, and hope to see you on a future webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all of you. Have a wonderful day.